بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. This is a Tafseer show, and today inshallah we'll be completing our Tafseer of the Holy Quran. And yesterday we left off from Surah Al-Adiyat, which describes the panting horses, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes qasam on those horses, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then mentions a few things about the nature of humanity. Then Allah Azza wa Jal moves on to Surah Al-Qari'ah and Surah Al-Takathur. In Al-Qari'ah, Allah Azza wa Jal is talking about the day of judgment, and then in Surah Al-Takathur, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about humanity and their reaction or their approach to the day that is going to come, meaning their death, Qiyamah being their death, the first Qiyamah, and then the ultimate Qiyamah, which is the day of Qiyamah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this world and the glamour and the glitter of this world has often made people forget that ultimately that one day they are going to return back to their Lord, and that there is going to be a day in which they die, they pass away, and they will have to see the results of their actions. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about people and the fact that they've forgotten about the fact that there is time, that they are going to, one day time will pass and one day they will go to their graves. And Allah follows this surah up with Wal Asr. Allah Azza wa Jal takes a oath on time, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes about an oath on a portion of time, meaning a period of time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking from one surah about how people forget that time is passing, and then in the next surah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes an oath on time, and following that oath Allah Azza wa Jal says, Innal insana la fi khusr, indeed humanity is all in loss, illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, except those people who believe and perform good deeds, wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr, and they push each other and they encourage each other with truth, and then with sabr, with perseverance, with endurance against the trials and the tribulations, the calamities, the problems, the issues, the various things that come to a person in this life. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues on to Surah Al-Humazah, and Allah Azza wa Jal is talking in this surah about that person or those people who, again, engrossed in this life, engrossed in the luxuries of this life, and because of their wealth and because of their children, because of their progeny, because of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ultimately has blessed them with, they come to this belief that again, that there is going to be no reckoning, that there is going to be no akhirah. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة. Allah Azza wa Jal is talking about the fire on the day of Qiyamah, the fire in Jahannam, and what it will do to people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and this is a warning to us, that our forgetfulness, our engrossment, being engrossed in this life, completely forgetting the akhirah, is one day going to be something that causes great ruin for us on the day of Qiyamah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues on into the last 10 surahs, beginning with Surah Al-Fil. Now Surah Fil is related to the year of the elephants and the story of Abraha and the elephants, where they came and tried to attack Mecca, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed the entire group or the entire army that came to attack Mecca. And this was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's unique protection for the Quraysh and for Mecca itself and for the Kaaba. And when they came, again, the year of the elephants was the year that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, and we know the truthfulness or the veracity of Surah Al-Fil simply because there were people alive at the time of the revelation of Surah Al-Fil that would have been alive when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born, and they were alive when the year of the elephant happened. And so we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was truthful simply because if he was not, if it was something that he made up, then the people around him or the non-Muslims around him would have come and said that, where is this incident that you're talking about? We were alive then, it never happened. So this was something that truly did happen. This was a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born for the Quraysh. أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, do you not see what your Lord did with the people of the elephant? أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not make their plan into ruin? وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent upon them birds in flocks, تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ, throwing upon them, pelting them with stones or little pebbles of baked clay. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that we made them into chewed up straw or chewed up cud, the thing that is left over after an animal chews some grass or something, and then spits it back out. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then continues from there into Surah Al-Quraysh, and these two surahs are linked. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ, for the ease of the Quraysh. And this surah can be that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the ease of the Quraysh and then what comes later, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is linking this back to the previous surah. That Allah did all of this, that He protected them from the people of the elephant for the ease of the Quraysh. That's one meaning or one way of reading it. And the other way of reading it is this is a separate surah in itself, where Allah says لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ, for the ease of the Quraysh, إِلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ, for their ease they have their travels in the winter and in the summer. Now the Quraysh were a nomadic tribe. They were a tribe, they were living in Mecca, and Mecca had no vegetation, no growth, nothing that it grew itself. It was a barren land. You could not grow anything there. There was very little place where you could pasture animals. And so the Quraysh would have to travel in the winter and in the summer and conduct business dealings in the winter and in the summer so that they could live on something, so that they have some sustenance. And in the winter they would travel down south. In the summer they would travel up north because of the weather and the change in climate. And so they would travel in both ways, and because of their travels, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made them very wealthy. Allah azza wa jal had given them a great amount of wealth and also a great amount of status. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ, that they should then worship the Lord of this house. Why does Allah refer to Himself as the Lord of this house? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ, the Lord of this house who has fed them from hunger and who has kept them safe, who has given them aman, security, from any kind of khawf, any kind of fear. And it was because of the fact that they had the house, they had the Kaaba, that the Quraysh were very fortunate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had, because of the fact that they lived in Mecca, because of the fact that they were custodians of the Kaaba, Allah azza wa jal had given them nobility. People used to consider the Quraysh to be a noble tribe. People used to respect them. People used to look after them when they used to go on their travels. When they would travel up north and travel down south, people would give them free passage. They would look after them. They would give them lodging and food. Many of the highway robbers that would attack other caravans would not attack the caravans of the Quraysh, thereby making them even more profitable because of their status, because of the fact that they felt that if they attacked them, that some kind of punishment would come upon them from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it was because of their association to the Kaaba that the Quraysh were noble, that the Quraysh were profitable, that the Quraysh were given a high status, and that they were made, or that they had their business dealings went smoothly. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, so that because of your association to the Kaaba, you've received this station, so why not worship the Lord of this Kaaba? Why associate partners to Him? Worship the Lord of the Kaaba alone. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Quraysh this there. Then we come on to Surah Al-Ma'un. Surah Ma'un is talking about, one, the people who disbelieve, and then also the munafiqun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ, have you not seen that person who belies, who denies ad-deen? Ad-deen can mean here the religion, ad-deen can mean here the Yawmuddin, the day of Qiyamah. And that person who denies the day of Qiyamah is that person who does not believe that there will be a reckoning. That person who does not believe that there is a day to come where I will have to answer for my sins. I will have to answer for why I did a certain thing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that it is this kind of person, فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُّ الْيَتِيمِ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. That is the person who pushes away. That is the person who rejects, who turns away. Al-yatim, the orphan child. And Allah chooses to use turn away rather than using something like that is the person who does not feed. Because oftentimes an orphan child needs two things. One is they need monetary provision, they need food, but also an orphan child often needs love, needs companionship, just needs a hand over the head, a few kind words. And this kind of person is so miserly, so stingy, so hard-hearted that they cannot even bring themselves, let alone giving something to them, they cannot even bring themselves to offer a bit of kindness to them. And this theme will return towards the end of the surah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. They do not even encourage feeding of the poor. Meaning one thing is that they feed the poor themselves. They can't bring themselves to do that, but they cannot even bring themselves to encourage others to feed the poor. And again, the message in here is these qualities that are being described of people of disbelief, these are qualities that as Muslims we cannot have in our lives. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَوَيْلُ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Woe be upon those performers of salah. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They are neglectful on their salah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the munafiqeen here, but again, it can be applicable to us, and it is something for us to be very mindful of. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ. Those are the people who only perform their salah to show other people. وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. And then this quality here in the last ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla is referring to both, that they stop or they forbid or they prohibit even the smallest, tiniest, most minute acts of kindness. Even those things they cannot bring themselves to perform and to do. And these are, again, a person should, when it comes to the smallest, tiniest things, we should be, we should give those small things. Something, ma'oon is those things which cost absolutely nothing. That might be a nice word, that might be a small smile, that might be, a few pennies, a few pounds that they do not cost anyone anything. But to stop or to show miserliness in there is to show the height of miserliness, to show the height of ingratitude, to show the height of being miserly in that case. And these are things that does not befit a Muslim. These are qualities of the munafiq, these are qualities of the disbeliever, again, the disbelievers of Makkah, and these are not qualities of a believer. Then we come on to Surah Al-Kawthar. Al-Kawthar means, amongst other things, the Hawd al-Kawthar, the fountain of Al-Kawthar that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But it could also mean many different things, and this is one of the beauties of this surah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah, Allah Azza wa Jal is giving glad tidings to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving him a gift. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. Indeed we gave you Al-Kawthar. We are giving you Al-Kawthar. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Therefore perform salah for your Lord, وَانْحَرْ, and sacrifice. إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرْ. Indeed it is your enemy who is Al-Abtar. And this surah was revealed because after the death of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's son, the Quraysh came and said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Abtar. Abtar means cut off, meaning once he passes away, no one will remember him. That his line and his lineage, his progeny will end. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was obviously quite hurt. And the Quraysh were also trying to make a point that this religion, that all this effort that you're making, it can only really carry on in the presence of your progeny, meaning it is only your progeny that will continue it. If you have no male sons, then unfortunately once you die, once you pass away, this whole message that you've bought, this Quran that you bought, everyone will forget about it. No one will remember. In that sense, you are abtar. Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying no. In fact, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he is not abtar. It is you, the Quraysh, the disbelievers, those people who are coming and saying things against Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is you who is abtar. And obviously we see this to be true today, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, despite having no sons, his remembrance is made the world throughout. There is no single person in human history probably who is remembered so fondly, but remembered by so many people. In fact, not probably, 100%. There is no person about whom so many verses, so many lines of poetry, so many books have been written about his life, so much has been written about his sayings. No person in history. That is a guaranteed fact. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is not the one who has been cut off. And those Quraysh who mocked him, their only mention is made because of their association to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And even then, when their mention is made, it is never made in a kind way, in a nice way. The mention is made in a way that is disgracing them, that is humiliating them, and in a way that to show how they lost in comparison to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So really they were the ones who were cut off. And they may have had children, they may have had many children. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not have any children. Yet their children came to no use. No one after them came to mention anything good about them. And many of their children eventually accepted Islam, and even their own children were saying things against them after their death. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, Surah Al-Kawthar is a surah which has a depth of meaning. It is one of the surahs that we use when the Quran gives a challenge, that produce a chapter like it. This is the surah this is the chapter that we present forward. Can anyone bring anything like Surah Kawthar? And Surah Kawthar itself deserves a huge amount of detail because, in terms of the linguistic analysis of it, there's a similar amount of letters in each line. Every single thing rhymes. There's a prophecy. There is glad tidings. There is a command, 2 commands to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is a gift to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in here. There is an insult to the Quraysh, and at the same time there is glad tidings to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So many different things come into one little surah. Then we go into Surah Al-Kafirun. This was when the Quraysh came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they said to him that, look, we will worship your God for a short while, you worship our gods, and therefore we can reconcile between ourselves. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ, say to them, O disbelievers, لَا أَعْبُدُ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ, that I will not worship that which you are worshipping, and neither you people will never worship what I am worshipping. وَلَا أَنَا عَابِدٌ مَا عَبَدْتُمْ, neither am I going to be a worshipper of that which you are worshipping. وَلَا أَنْتُمْ عَابِدُونَ مَا أَعْبُدُ, and neither will you be worshippers of what I am worshipping. وَلَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repeats this twice over to emphasize the line, the demarcation between Iman and Kufr. There can never ever be a mixing of the two. There can never be a mixing of Iman and Kufr. What Allah Azza wa Jalla has revealed, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, that is stamped in stone. That can never change. لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ دِينِ. That last line proves it. For yours is your religion, for ours is our religion. You want to believe what you want to believe, that's up to you. That's up to you. What we want to believe in is what our religion says. What Sharia says cannot be changed. People may change. What Sharia says will never ever change. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's deen is, take it or leave it. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to tell them, that if they come to you with these offers of reconciliation, these offers of trying to dilute the religion down, these offers of trying to play around with the semantics of deen, trying to water down certain elements of the religion, no, it cannot happen. The Quran cannot be changed. The Sharia cannot be changed. The laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are as they were. They are perfect in every sense. They cannot be changed. And lakum deenukum waliya deen. If you want to change it, you can do whatever you want. Our religion is going to remain the same. It is static. It is for eternity. It is for all time. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down. And Allah in His hikmah has sent it down as a perfect way of living for every single human being. Then Allah Azza wa Jal goes on to Surah Al-Nasr. Surah Al-Nasr is a surah which predicts the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it speaks after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, or just before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. It is the last surah in its whole to be revealed. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ, when the help of Allah and victory comes. وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا, and you see people entering the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in droves, in fawj. Fawj literally mean in armies. And this was the case after Fath Makkah. People came again and again and again, and Medina was packed out. Medina was booked out. Every single day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was busy with tribes and delegations and people coming to meet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to accept Islam and to learn the deen from him. So when you see this, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ, then sing the praises of your Lord, وَاسْتَغْفِرْ, and seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness. إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا, indeed He is the most forgiving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that when you see this, then sing praises, glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and ask for forgiveness. Some Sahaba heard this, and immediately they started crying when the surah was revealed, because they realized at the end or the completion of an action, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness. And by asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness, by this command of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask for forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this was in effect a message to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you are soon going to pass away. This is the end, or this is coming to the end of your life, and soon you will return to us. They understood this from there, and this is truly what happened. Within a short while, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then passed away. Then we come on to Surah Al-Lahab. This is one of the early surahs where after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was ordered to spread the religion openly, he came out on Mount Safa and he made a proclamation to all of the Quraysh that, O Quraysh, if I tell you that there is an army behind this mountain, will you believe me that they are coming to attack you? They said, yes, you are a Sadiq, you are Al-Amin. You are the most trustworthy, you are the most truthful, we will believe you. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I am warning you of something greater, something much worse, a fire that is going to consume you if you do not bring belief. And upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying this, Abu Lahab stood up and said, Tabban lak, that may you be destroyed. Alihada jama'atana, did you really gather us for this nonsense, for this rubbish? And when he said this, Allah Azza wa Jal, a short while later, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayat, Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tab, that may the hands of Abu Lahab be destroyed. Ma aghna anhu maluhu wa ma kasab, that neither his wealth nor what he earns will benefit him. Sayasla naran dhata lahab, soon he will enter a fire. Dhata lahab, filled with flames. Now Abu Lahab was called Abu Lahab from a young age. That was his kunya. Now he had a name, but his kunya was a nickname that was given to him because, according to some narrations, he was fair, but he had streaks of red in his cheeks, and so it looked like streaks of fire, and so he was called Abu Lahab, the father of basically streaks of fire, little sparks. Lahab literally means sparks or fire, and so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is referencing him or using his name, and a person knows that when someone uses their name to mock them, that is like, it really burns inside. And so when Abu Lahab heard this surah, and this was a surah which is very easy on the tongue, it also rhymes, and it was something that the children of Mecca could learn and recite, and they would learn it and they would run around singing it. And so this was like a mockery of Abu Lahab that was being made of him, and the people of Mecca were reciting against him, and they were using his name as well. And also this surah is amazing because it is a prophecy. This was revealed only in the first few years of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's message, and so it was a prophecy that Abu Lahab is going to enter into Jahannam. Now if Abu Lahab was a bright man or an intelligent man, but really it's not about intelligence here. If he simply did not have arrogance, and this is the same thing with shaitan. Shaitan is aware of Allah. He knows Allah exists. He has seen Allah, meaning he has spoken directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not seen Allah, but spoken directly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was there amongst the company of malaika. He saw Adam alayhi salam. He's seen everything. But it is because of kibr that he cannot accept the truth. It's not because he has not seen, or because he is in our boat, in that it is a test still for him. And Abu Lahab, all he had to do to disprove Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was accept Islam. If he accepted Islam, then he could have turned around and said, look, your Quran says I'm going to enter Jahannam. How is it possible since I've become a Muslim? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prophesied that he will never enter Islam. And yes, from that year all the way till the year of his death, and eventually he died a very disgraceful death, all that time, at no point did it occur to him that maybe I should accept Islam. And by my accepting Islam, I would ultimately be proven to be true anyway. But because of that kibr, because of that pride inside of him, he never accepted Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then also talks about his wife, that she will also enter into Jahannam with him. She will carry firewood, fi jidiha hablum min masad, and around her neck will be a rope of palm fiber. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues on to Surah Al-Ikhlas. Surah Ikhlas is a comprehensive, concise, sort of packed up surah which talks about the very concept, the very core message of the Quran, which is Tawheed. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say He is Allah, the One. Allahu Samad, Allah who is independent, who does not need anything, who is self-sufficient. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala neither has children, nor was he born. He neither begets nor was he begotten. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٍ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has no other likeness. He has nothing or no one that is similar to Him, nothing or no one that is in any way, shape or form like Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unique in every one of His qualities. And this is Surah Al-Ikhlas. Again, many of these surahs now are ones where you can speak for hours on end about. Then we have Surah Al-Falaq and Surah Al-Nas. Surah Falaq and Surah Al-Nas are the Mu'awwidhatain, the two surahs that begin with A'udhu. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, that say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak, min sharri ma khalaq. And these are surahs that a person should recite every single day, morning and evening. And if a person can, every single day after every single salah as well. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. This is a surah which protects a person from the evil eye, which protects a person from from black magic, which protects a person from many different things. And this is something that we should recite every single day. And also the story behind Surah Al-Falaq is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was affected by the magic or the sihr of a person in Medina, Labid bin Asim. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was made to forget certain things relating to the dunya, and eventually by way of a dream he was informed about this, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that he was informed and that magic was removed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then revealed this surah, and this surah was then used as protection for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam against those very things that affected him before. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ, from that evil that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. وَمِنْ شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ, and from the ghasiq, from the night as it encroaches. إِذَا وَقَبَ. وَمِنْ شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ, and from the evil of those women who blow into knots. And this was a woman who blew into those knots and then performed black magic on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so from the evil of those women who blow in knots. وَمِنْ شَرِّ حَاسِدٍ إِذَا حَسَدٍ, and from the evil of the jealous person when he performs or commits to that jealousy. And again, these are surahs which a person should recite every single day. And then Surah An-Nas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends on, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the people, Malikin Nas, the king of the people, Ilahin Nas, the Lord of all people, Min Sharri al-Waswas al-Khannas, from the evil of the whisperer who withdraws. And this Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about shaitan. Shaitan's habit is that he whispers, he leaves an idea, he plants a seed in the mind, and then he goes back. That is shaitan's habit, that is his MO, his modus operandi. This is what shaitan does. That's how shaitan works. He whispers something, then he leaves. وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ. Shaitan says on the day of Qiyamah, he's going to say when everything is done and dusted, when the dust fully settles, he comes and says, لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised you something, I promised you something else, and then I left you. فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ, I promised you something, and then I left you, I renegated on my promise. Why did you believe me? It's up to you. So this is what shaitan does. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then continues in the surah. Allah says, الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, shaitan, that which whispers in the hearts of people, مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ, in the hearts of the jinnat, the jinn, and also mankind, وَالنَّاسِ. And Allah Azza wa Jal began the Quran, by describing Himself. And the entire Quran is talking about hidayah. The entire Quran is talking about guidance. The entire Quran is guidance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends by mentioning shaitan to make the point. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the evil of jinn and the evil of mankind, to make the point that yes, hidayah is there, but beware of these few things. Beware of shaitan. Beware of the person who has hasad. Beware of the evil of jinn, and beware of the evil of mankind. Mankind meaning other people's evil, but also that evil within you. Your nafs. Your nafs tries to pull you away to committing other kinds of evil. So beware of that evil that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created within every single person, that a person only sort of activates it when they cultivate it. And a person can push that evil away and go towards the good part of his akhlaq, the good part of his character, the good part of his nafs, if he truly wishes to do so. And this is Surah An-Nas, and this is where we end our tafsir of the Holy Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the Quran the light of our life. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the tawfiq, the ability to act upon all of the different things that we spoke about in the Quran, and much, much more. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from the people of the Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the Quran a fixture of our life, that whenever we are lost, whenever we are in grief, whenever we are in a momentary dip, and also in our highs, in the highs of our life, we turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's kalam, and we take from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's kalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech, that which gives us a hope, that which gives us that fear to live our lives in ways that are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from us all of the different things that we have mentioned, the time that we have spent in discussing the Quran, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to continue to do so, to continue to be the standard bearers of this Quran. And to end on this, my sincere hope and my message is that we have only covered a little bit, a short amount from the Quran. We have not really given the due attention that the Quran is worth. Ultimately and really, this is a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is a message that deserves attention, that deserves our time, our efforts behind it. And we ask every single person, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us all the tawfiq to spend that time behind the Quran. Wa akhiru da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa sallallahu ala nabiyyil kareem walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.